Elon Musk, a serial entrepreneur, inventor, and financially probably the world's most successful CEO. This maverick billionaire went from living on just $1 a day back when he was 17 to earning over $13.1 billion in just one day. This is Tech Luxuries, and here is how Elon Musk went from 27 billion to 200 billion in just 10 months. To call 2020 a radical year would be an understatement. It changed the way we talk, live, interact with others, and most importantly, it made us long for the most basic things, such as the ability to move freely or have a face-to-face conversation with someone without any fear, something which we took for granted before. While a great many of us suffered during the pandemic, the rich got even richer. And according to an article in Financial Express, a collective total of $1 trillion was added to the net worths of 650 billionaires. A fourth of the trillion went into the pockets of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and other top billionaires. While many of them saw a 50 to 100% increase in their net worths, Elon Musk's net worth grew by an astronomical 545%, launching him from the 35th spot on the world's top billionaires list to the number one position, and making it one for the history books. So how did this happen? And how rich is Elon Musk really? Well, to understand this, we need to do a deep dive into Elon Musk's finances. We all know that billionaires can gain and lose billions in just a day thanks to the fluctuation of their company's stock prices. And Mr. Musk is no exception. Most of his recent gain in net worth is from his holdings in Tesla. As Tesla's stock climbed to 800%, Musk's net worth reached new heights, but that's only on paper. In reality, the billionaire, to quote his own words, is cash poor and relies mostly on credit lines and loans for his day-to-day expenses. According to a Tesla's regulatory filing, back in February of 2020, Elon Musk had a total of $548 million in personal loans from Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and Bank of America, with his stock in Tesla being pledged as collateral for the loans. While most publicly traded companies prohibit the practice of using stock as collateral, Tesla took a different approach. Instead of handing out large cash compensations, they allowed him to borrow 25% of the value of stocks he decides to use as collateral without actually having to sell them. Now, if you are wondering why Elon Musk is so reluctant to sell his shares, while many other billionaires use their stock to put cash in their pockets, it has to do with something called dual-class stock ownership. What it simply means is, companies, when they decide to go public, establish two different types of shares, with one type of shares having more powerful voting rights than the other. To give a few examples, famous companies like Google, Facebook, and Alibaba employ dual-class stock ownership, allowing its founders to sell their stock without actually losing control of their company. A practice which was uncommon back in 2010 when Tesla went public. Elon roughly owns 20% of stock in Tesla, making him the majority shareholder, a position he needs to retain if he wants to keep control of the company. As most of Elon's stock in SpaceX and Tesla is tied up as collateral for mortgages and other loans, his final stakes in the respective companies are valued at slightly less than their face value, a type of discounting metric used by the famous Forbes Wealth Estimates and Bloomberg's Billionaires Index. Back in December, Bloomberg released an article which had Musk's net worth pegged at $158 billion, with about $110 billion, or about 70% of his net worth, from Tesla stock and options, another $18.7 billion from his equity in SpaceX, and roughly $7 billion in tangible assets such as homes, cars, cash, and other assets, according to Bloomberg's calculations. In May of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, aside from fighting with the authorities to keep his factories open, Elon used his Twitter to reveal his plan to sell out all physical possessions, including all the homes he owned, and that he would rent a small house somewhere. By the end of the year, he made good on his promise, at least partly by listing 7 of his homes in California for sale and moving himself and his charitable organization from California to Texas. Although Tesla car manufacturing plant and most of SpaceX manufacturing still happens in California, the billionaire said that he would focus his time working on the Starship development in South Texas. Living in Texas will certainly bring down his costs, and although he may not have any cash now, but in a few years' time, when Tesla unlocks all 12 trenches, aka the goals that need to be achieved in order for Musk to receive rewards, he could earn as much as $50 billion from the company. Well, who knows? With Tesla's already growing market in US, China and its new entry into India, Elon Musk might as well become the world's first trillionaire. Well, nothing can be discounted when it comes to this Twitter maverick. From neural networks to satellite internet, Elon Musk will keep coming up with new ideas and we will continue bringing them to you. So subscribe and stay up to date with all the tech luxuries of this world. Also check out our other videos on how a rocket works or the most expensive house in the world.